Latin Brocards, fifth video. Vivere militare est. Vivere militare est. The Latin brocard vivere militare est literally means to live is to fight, or life is a continuous struggle. It conveys the idea that existence inherently involves challenges, effort, and conflict, whether personal, social, or professional. In a legal context, the maxim can reflect the adversarial nature of litigation, where rights and interests are defended through structured contest and reasoning. Politically, it underscores the constant negotiation and contestation inherent in governance, diplomacy, and civic engagement. Philosophically or academically, vivere militare est highlights the human condition. Life requires resilience, ethical discernment, and the confrontation of obstacles to achieve growth and understanding. In everyday use, it serves as a reminder that persistence and courage are essential in facing personal or professional difficulties. The expression elegantly frames life as an arena in which effort, vigilance, and determination are unavoidable. Example sentences. The attorney reminded herself of the truth of vivere militare est. Every case requires vigilance, strategy, and tireless advocacy to safeguard her client's rights. In his lecture on human nature, the philosopher cited vivere militare est to illustrate that intellectual and moral growth emerge through struggle and critical engagement. The diplomat acknowledged the importance of vivere militare est in international relations, where negotiations require patience, careful planning, and courage to confront competing interests. She embraced the motto vivere militare est, confronting daily challenges at work and in family life with determination and resilience. Lupus in fabula. Lupus in fabula. The Latin brocard lupus in fabula literally means the wolf in the story or the wolf in the discourse. It is used to describe a situation in which a person or event that is being discussed suddenly appears or occurs, often unexpectedly. In legal context, it can refer to the unexpected emergence of a party, witness, or fact relevant to a case at the very moment it is under consideration. Politically, the expression highlights sudden developments or interventions that change the course of discussion or negotiation. In academic or philosophical context, lupus in fabula may denote the unanticipated appearance of a counterexample or a significant observation during a debate or analysis. In everyday use, it is commonly invoked humorously when someone being discussed unexpectedly arrives, emphasizing the irony of timing. The maxim captures the surprise and immediacy of such moments. Example sentences. During the trial, the witness entered the courtroom unexpectedly, prompting the lawyer to remark lupus in fabula, just as we were discussing her testimony. While presenting his theory, the researcher encountered a case study that perfectly contradicted his argument, leading him to comment, lupus in fabula. As the committee debated the policy proposal, the minister arrived unannounced and an aide whispered, lupus in fabula. We were talking about Maria's new job when she walked in, and someone laughed, saying, lupus in fabula. Casus belli. Casus belli. The Latin brocard casus belli literally means an occasion for war. It traditionally refers to an act, incident, or event that provokes or is used to justify military conflict. In legal and political context, the term denotes a formal or perceived cause that legitimizes retaliation or defensive action under international law. Beyond warfare, casus belli is used metaphorically to indicate any act or circumstance that triggers conflict, dispute, or serious consequences, whether in political negotiations, organizational disputes, or personal disagreements. In academic or philosophical discourse, it can illustrate causal relationships, demonstrating how specific events may precipitate larger consequences. In everyday use, the expression highlights triggers for tension or controversy in social or professional situations. Casus belli thus captures both literal and figurative notions of provocation and consequential action. Example sentences. The historian identified the assassination as a casus belli, demonstrating how a single event can precipitate a major conflict. The leaked document became a casus belli in Parliament, sparking heated debates and calls for sanctions. The diplomat argued that the border incursion constituted a legitimate casus belli, providing grounds for the state's defensive measures. The disagreement over office resources turned into a casus belli, leading to tension between team members. Urbi et orbi. Urbi et orbi. The Latin brocard urbi et orbi literally means to the city and to the world. It is used to indicate that a message, whether written or spoken, is addressed universally, intended for all people or the entire world. In legal context, it can refer to declarations, rulings, or public notices that have binding or informative effect on a broad audience. Politically, the maxim emphasizes communications, proclamations, or speeches aimed at a national or global audience, highlighting transparency and universality. In academic or philosophical context, it may describe statements or publications intended to reach and influence the widest possible readership. In everyday life, urbi et orbi is used figuratively to convey that someone is making an announcement or opinion intended for everyone to hear or know, often with emphasis or grandeur. Example sentences. The court issued its ruling urbi et orbi, ensuring that the decision was publicly accessible and binding on all relevant parties. The President addressed the nation URBI et ORBI, outlining the government's policies and appeals to citizens worldwide. The scholar published her groundbreaking findings, URBI et ORBI, aiming to reach an international audience of researchers. He announced his engagement, URBI et ORBI, telling all his friends and family the joyful news. OBTORTO COLLO. OBTORTO COLLO. The Latin brocard OBTORTO COLLO literally means with a twisted neck or unstraight neck. It is used to indicate situations in which someone must act against their will or under compulsion, performing an obligation despite reluctance or disagreement. In legal context, obtorto collo may describe compliance with court orders, contractual duties, or procedural requirements that one executes unwillingly. Politically, it can reflect decisions or policies that leaders implement due to pressure, treaties, or public expectation, even if personally opposed. In academic or philosophical context, the maxim illustrates moral or ethical dilemmas where action is constrained by necessity rather than desire. In everyday use, obtorto collo captures instances of begrudging compliance, emphasizing the tension between duty and personal inclination. The expression conveys both restraint and reluctant acceptance in formal and informal situations. Example sentences. The minister signed the international agreement obtorto collo, compelled by diplomatic pressure from allied nations. The defendant paid the fine obtorto collo, fulfilling the court's judgment despite believing it was unjust. The researcher adopted the prescribed methodology obtorto collo, preferring her own approach but following institutional requirements. He went to the family gathering obtorto collo, doing so unwillingly out of respect for his relatives.